Welcome back to another video. So today I have something special for y'all. So this is a re-upload of my first two chapter reviews for Jojolands. So I recorded the Jojolands when they like a few weeks ago, but on my other channel, but then my channel got deleted and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna go into more detail, but this is a re-upload basically of both the chapters combined. You're gonna see a filter over the video so that I can hopefully this video not get copyrighted and stuff like that. So you're gonna see like a purple pink filter. I don't know what color I'm gonna pick over the video, so I'm sorry if that's annoying to you, but make sure y'all go actually like read the chapter and stuff like that. Or if you don't want to see the filter, just like put the video in the background, just listen to me talk about the stuff. Hopefully I shouldn't have to do the filter as crazy as I did in this video for my other Jojoland reviews, because I'm going to be editing my videos a little differently from now on, and these are just the other videos that I had on my channel that I still want y'all to see, because I really enjoyed talking about JoJo, and I want y'all to see my reviews and stuff on it. But yeah, it's a long video because it's both videos combined, but like I said, I'm gonna get back into making more videos. My Chainsaw Man chapter 126 review should be coming out soon, and whenever the next Jojolands chapter comes out, I'll make sure I cover it, and my Dragon Ball Super reviews will also come out and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be re-uploading a lot of stuff and putting filters and try to just a lot of re-uploading is gonna be happening for the first 2 weeks or so on this channel, so just get used to that. But I'm gonna be doing a lot of more new content soon, and I'm working on a Tokyo Ghoul big project that I'm working on, so stay tuned for that. But sorry for the long intro, I just wanted to get this off before you watch the video so you understand what's going on. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down below what you think about Jojolands, and if you're excited for chapter 3, what you think is gonna happen in chapter 3. But I'm gonna see you guys soon, and thank you for watching. Welcome back to another video. So today we are back to start our journey through Jojolands, which is JoJo Part 9. So I'm really late to getting back into JoJo and actually reviewing this chapter, because I just finished Part 8 like a week ago, and I've finally been able to put in the time to actually like finish Part 8 and then start reviewing Part 9, which there's only 2 chapters. In this video I'm only going to be going over chapter 1, but you'll see my chapter 2 review a few days later. And I'm really excited. I loved Part 8 a lot. If you want to see me talk about more JoJo content, anything JoJo related Part 8, or even like anything involving JoJo, leave a like, subscribe, and see, and like let me know down in the comment section down below if you want to see me talk about more stuff like that. But I'm really excited for Part 9. This is the first time I've ever been like in the same like stratosphere or caught up as the main JoJo fan base, like being in the same like manga part. Like I've been there when everyone was watching the anime together, but I've never been at the same part where we're all watching or all reading the manga together. So I'm really excited to go on this journey with all y'all. And we should just get into this chapter. This chapter is long. It was like 61 pages or something like that. So like there's a lot of content to go over, and I'm gonna try my best to recap everything and explain in detail about what I think and what I like about this chapter so far, because I think this is a really good first chapter that like really like gets me interested about how the story is gonna go. And it also makes me excited for just the second chapter, because it has a story that I like when mangas or just stories in general do this. So I'm gonna try my best to recap as best as possible, so let's hop in. So the chapter starts off with showing like the B-roll, showing the footage, showing that like this part takes place in Hawaii. Like I said, the story takes place in Hawaii, and we actually start off with a police pullover. So the police are pulling over this car, and then in this car we actually get to see our 2 main like Joestars. We get to see Dragona Joestar and Jodio Joestar, and Dragona Joestar is actually driving the car, and the cops like even like telling Dragona to like turn off the music and stuff like that. And it seems like a normal like pullover, but then it gets starting to get pretty weird, because the cops already giving like weird like vibes. He's like asking for Dragona's like your license and registration and stuff like that, and then like telling them that you were swerving on the road and stuff like that. And Dragona like gives like the license and registration and stuff like that, and the cop is like very suspicious. Like he's looking at the registration and the ID like it's like weird, and you'll see why. But like he was already suspicious of the 2 driving, and so they even have like a little talk, like Dragona and Jodio start talking a little bit, and like Dragona like asks Jodio like, was I like swerving and wasn't noticing? And I thought at first like the cop was like maybe like not like tripping, which we're gonna learn later on that he was. But like right now I thought like, oh, is he tripping, or is like, are these people like just bad, or these Joestars? And then the Dragona's like, I know I wasn't speeding, and I thought the road was too straight for me to swerve on. And then Jodio said it's because you were jamming out to Dua Lipa so hard. That throws me away when I hear like pop culture references like that. I be forgetting that this is modern JoJo, and they're gonna be making references to people that are like popular now. So that actually made me laugh, and like you actually see like Jodio and Dragona start laughing about it. And the cop comes back, right, with the license registration. And I think the cop knows something's up when he checked the license and registration, because we're going to learn later on that one of them has the ability to do something to change stuff. So keep that in mind. But the cop comes back and starts asking more questions, and is even like wondering like, yo, like, I need to like asking more questions about like, what are you doing, who are you, how old is your passenger that you're with, and stuff like that. And Dragona's like asking like, why are you asking me these questions? It's making me uncomfortable, and also, can you back away from me because I'm afraid of getting COVID, which threw me away that she like said that, like she's afraid of getting COVID. And then the cop starts asking like, are you insinuating that you don't want to get close to me because of my race? Which blew me away, because she didn't even say that at all. Like Dragona did not bring that up at all. She just said that she wanted him to back away because she's afraid of COVID, because it's modern day and he was afraid of it. And Dragona says, I didn't say anything like that. And then the cop tells her to step out the car. I'm going to conduct a search. And so she's like escorted out the car, and like the cop starts like searching her, but like there's something up, because the cop is like grabbing and touching her in ways that a cop should not be touching someone while checking. And it's nasty, because even the cop that like was riding with the cop that's interrogating Dragona right now is not saying anything. Like, even though like this is different from a normal search, like he spreads her legs and like starts grabbing her in ways that like she should not be touching. And the cop is like, even like, hey, you okay over there, man? And like the cop says, yeah, I'm fine, don't need to come running. And it's like basically like flexing to Dragona, saying like, us police officers have a duty to keep the peace and uphold justice, and to be completely certain that you haven't broken the law. And basically like taking advantage of like being able to search her without worrying about like anything. And even starts like doing things like inappropriate. I'm not gonna show the panel because it's pretty like it's pretty crazy, but like the cop even puts like his hand down her pants and basically like touches down there, and even like trying to like make a search or whatever, or trying to like basically like confirm that she doesn't have anything, even though we know that at this point the cop is just groping her. The cop is taking advantage of this situation of being able to search somebody. Right after like it's getting to a crazy point, Jodio pops up. Like, he actually like pops out the car, and the other cop is telling Jodio to get back in the car, and Jodio is telling like the cop that's like holding Dragona to like let go of my brother. Jodio tells the cop like, yo, what are you doing? I need you to take your hands like off my sibling, because we find out that they're actually like related. So Jodio like tells like the cop like, yo, take your hands off my sister, bro. You hear me? Do it right now, because if you don't, I'll kill you. And then Dragona and the cop are like looking at Jodio, and even the other cop is telling Jodio to like put your hands on your knees, like freeze right now. And like they're both yelling at him, and then even Dragona's like telling him like to back up, don't worry about it, I got this. And then we see something happen. So we see the cop grab Jodio, and then something hits him like raindrops, and he falls to the floor, just straight up falls. And then Jodio's like walking towards the cop that has Dragona in his hands, and you even see the cop like behind Jodio that got attacked is like getting attacked by multiple like different like things touching his body, like multiple like raindrops. And then we go to the next page, and we see all these raindrops, like I said, going into the cop's body, and you see that it's doing damage. Like, it's literally like creating holes in the cop, and I'm assuming it's like little small hits. Like, think of it like at the end of part 8, like with the Wonder of You, whenever the Wonder of You would activate, and then like small raindrops would become big damage to a person. I think that's what's happening, kind of. Not the same thing with Calamity, but just like, oh, these small raindrops can actually do a lot of damage to a person. And you even see the cop is like coughing up blood and stuff like that and being attacked. And so it's like, it looks like it's a bunch of mini punches on the cop by the stand ability. And we actually get to see the stand, and it looks really, really cool. I think when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, this is not the traditional main character stand. Like, you know, because main characters usually in JoJo have a pretty like humanoid stand with arms and punches and stuff like that, besides tusks. So I was very surprised by the way it looked, but the more and more as I reread the chapter, I really like how it looks. It looks like a weird sprinkler. It looks like a really menacing sprinkler, like a really menacing like transformer to me, like a Decepticon or something. So I actually really like how it looks. And there's a really, really cool panel where it shows like its face, and I think the masks that it kind of has, like this like little like mask with the holes, it looks pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. And it looks pretty tall too. I think it's taller than the car. So this is a really interesting looking stand, and we actually learn the name of it later on, and I believe it is called November Rain, and I believe that is a reference to, I believe it's a reference to Guns N' Roses. I'm not sure exactly, because Guns N' Roses do have a song called November Rain, so I don't know if it's exactly a Guns N' Roses reference. Let me know down below, but that's what I saw so far from looking it up and trying to see, because you know how JoJo is with their, or Rocky is with their music references. So we see that Jodio's like approaching the cop, and the cop is like telling like Jodio to like freeze, and then we see Dragona like grab the cop's face, and then his face gets like disfigured. Like you see that his eyes are no longer in the right spot that they're supposed to be. Like one is in his cheek and one is on the top of his forehead, and he actually misses Jodio with the gunshot because of it. And like Jodio's stand starts to attack the cop, where all these like I said like raindrops earlier, but it could also be like snowdrops or something. Let me know down below what you think, but that's what it's giving to me. That's what it's looking like. It's looking like raindrops and stuff like that. And then we see Jodio do like a big like scream while he jumps and starts stomping the hell out of this cop, and like telling him like, yo, you're trash, yo, you're a piece of shit, like I'm going to like kill you and stuff like that. And then Dragona basically is trying to pull off Jodio, telling him like, yo, it's okay, you're going too far, you're about to kill them. And then you see that like basically both of them are beaten half to death, but they're not dead. And we still like don't know how exactly Dragona's ability, what exactly that did to the cop, because when you look on the panel where it's the cop is being attacked by the raindrops, his eye is still like on the side. So maybe like later on if they leave, their eye's gonna go back, but basically they're beaten basically to like almost death, right, by these two kids, because Dragona might be 18, but basically like they're both kids, and then even like Jodio's only like 15. But we get into another panel where they're actually like really smart. So they realize, Jodio realizes like, yo, like I'm taking care of the data because this is modern times, so cops have dash cams, and then their cars these have dash cams. So he decided to burn all of them, but they even say like, yo, after we burn all the evidence, they're not gonna come after us and stuff like that. We head into the next page where like Dragona is like telling him like, yeah, I think that's a good idea, and they say that we're pretty good at covering our tracks. So they probably haven't attacked a cop like this before, but they probably done something similar to this before, where they have to like cover their tracks and like stop people from wanting to like chase after them. And we actually get to see like Dragona's like stand ability for the first time, and get to see, well, it's the second time because we saw her use it on the cop, but we get to see like her use it on the license plate, and we see her get to change the license plate, and we see like these little like diggers, like these little like people, like construction like drones start moving all the stuff around, start moving all the license plate around, like ripping it, tearing it apart to form like to make it into like new numbers and new letters and stuff like that. And we also see that she did this with her ID, and it turned out to be a fake ID as well, and like she's able to like put these like diggers and drones on people and be able to move things around. And we even learn like November Rain at the end of the chapter that her stand is called the Smooth Operators, which I'm not sure exactly what is that a reference to. I tried looking it up, but I wasn't sure exactly. Let me know down below if you know exactly what the reference or to the band or to the song that is specifically to, because I tried looking it up, and one that popped up for me was like this Sade song, Sade song. So I'm not sure if that's exactly it, or like there's a lot of songs that are like called Smooth Operator, so I don't know exactly who, or even Paul Wall, so I don't know exactly who the reference is to. There's a lot of people that have the song Smooth Operator, but let me know down below if you know exactly like what the reference is to. So like I said earlier, we see them like we see Dragona using their stand ability, fixing and changing the license plate, and they decide to like just drive off, right? And we see that they're actually meeting up at like this beach to meet up with these group of members of, I believe, this gang. They're all like in a gang. There's guns, there's like drugs and stuff like that, and Jodio and Dragona are there to basically like get paid. Like they got their cash, and then basically the people there tell them like, yo, you did a good job, and then even asking like, yo, did you hear about that cop car that got burnt outside the warehouse district? Like, do you guys know anything about that? And we get this funny panel where we actually see like Jodio and Dragona just look at each other, and they just put their arms up like, I don't know. And I've been seeing this panel on Twitter before I even read this chapter, and that part made me laugh a lot. I like how like they feel, these people, Dragona and Jodio, really do feel like people their age. Like I've seen a lot of people like this age. Like I've even been, like I'm 20 years old, so like a lot of people that I know kind of act like this or seem like this, and I felt like this chapter is really good at showing like these people are really laid back. Like Jodio and Dragona are really laid back, are different from other Joestars in a way, because so far they're like Jojo's like motivations and like what he wants to do is bad. Like he's not a good person, but his motivation to get to his goal is JoJo-esque. Like it's Joestar-esque because he's very passionate about it, and even talks about a thing later on called the mechanism and stuff like that. So like he's definitely giving Joestar, but it's definitely unique that this chapter is focusing more on these Joestars not being like exactly the best of people, in which every Joestar has like stuff that doesn't make them the best of people, but these two are literal criminals in a drug trade. So I think it's like a little bit different. We actually cut to like Jojo basically explaining that their mom basically has a stress-free life because of what Jojo and Dragona do in the drug trade for her to make sure that she's always going to be good. And even Jojo even has like a mini monologue where he talks about and basically explains like Dragona, she wakes up every morning and goes jogging on the beach without fail, and like talking about all of Dragona's like interests and likes and stuff like that. Says that like Dragona likes fashion and likes and works at this boutique called Eco. And they even show like something actually really cool. They actually show a family tree while Jojo's talking, to basically talk about their family and explaining that our parents moved here to Honolulu, Hawaii from Atlantic City on the mainland. It seems like things were messy between our dad and mom because she's been raising us alone. And we actually see the family tree, which we have seen multiple times in part 8, the family tree. But as you can see, there's two sides of the family tree, and we see Barbara and Joestar, and the father's like not named, right? And then we see Dragona and Jojo. But then on the other side of the family, which is basically Barbara Ann's like sibling, which is basically like Dragona and Jojo's auntie, is Holly Kira, and you know their father and stuff like that. And then you know Holly Kira gives birth to Yoshikage Kira, and we know about Yoshikage Kira and Kaio Nijimura, which also like is Kira's like sibling and stuff like that. And then we know that that goes into like Josuke. So we know that like Dragona and Jojo are, I believe, are the cousins of Yoshikage Kira and that side of the family. Like basically they're the other side of the family that we didn't get to see earlier. We get to see like Holly Joestar's sister. So that's very interesting to see. I'm hoping I explained it as best as I could, but that's really interesting that we get to see the other side of the family tree and see what they're up to, because right now the other side of the family tree is in Japan. They're in Morio, while this side of the family tree is like in Hawaii / America. So that was really nice to see. And we also cut back to Jojo's like continue the monologue, is on a school bus, because you know he's 15, so he's on a school bus, and he ends up talking to this one dude, asking like how his day is, and then asking like Jojo to like set him up, like to prep him up, like give him something, because he knows that Jojo's like a seller. And Jojo like starts a fight with him, and even says aura like while the fight, so we know like later on that that's gonna be like Jojo's thing, that he's gonna be saying like aura. That's his stand rush thing, because you know how Jojo's are. And we see him like try to attack like the dude that was asking him, and it actually turns out to be a ploy, because after they get off the bus, like Jojo actually like brings the guy over, telling him like, yo, like I saw how I acted at the bus. Jojo's basically trying to like to not seem suspicious, and basically is talking to that guy in a way that like is non-discreet, like basically like trying to set him up to like pay him and then like pick up the thing he wants to pick up, which is drugs. And so Jojo like tells him the location of the drugs, and then like shoos him away, and actually takes the money that the guy was trying to give him earlier. And then we also get to see this one dude. He walks by the guy that's trying to get these drugs, and he's telling the guy like it's in the rain gutter in the bag, look there. And he like rides off, and he's riding a little scooter, which is really funny. And so the guy actually goes up to the statue and actually finds the drugs there, and takes the drugs and then walks away. And then we also get to see, like, it cuts back, and we see Jojo going through the hallways, talking to the principal and stuff like that. And he keeps on, like, monologuing. And he tells, like, why is he in school? And he says, I guess I'm going to school for my mechanism. There's strength in a mechanism, but you can't see it. When I turned 11 years old, a neighbor invited me to be their gopher out of nowhere. All I did was carry things and give them to others. That was my only role. But they showered me with praise and gave me pocket money for it. All I did was carry out simple tasks, keep my mouth shut, and not think about it too hard. But in time, they started to trust me and recognize my efforts. That's the mechanism. There's strength in the mechanism of trust. Even if the strength of the law won't protect me in this town, trust always can. Like, he even like goes like on a little explanation, telling like this one guy who's like way smarter than him, bigger than him, and is a good student, gets beat up because he's not trusted. And while Jojo is like a criminal and not a good person, he's trusted. And they show a panel where he gets the bitches. So like, that was funny. I like that panel. But like, this basically is explaining like Jojo's mechanism in this is trust, while like Giorno's mechanism kind of, and part 5 was like, it was also trust. Like Giorno got the trust of all of his like teammates. Like he got Bruno to trust him, and then because Bruno trusted Giorno, the rest of the gang started to trust Giorno, even though some of them didn't want to trust Giorno at first, like Abacchio. But eventually he had to trust Giorno because Giorno proved once again that he was reliable and telling the truth and was a good teammate. So they have really similar mechanisms, in my opinion. And so Jojo keeps talking and says, this is a story about how I got filthy rich. What do you think filthy rich is an exaggeration? You think I sound like one stuck up son of a bitch, right? By filthy rich, I do mean making fat stacks of money, but there's something way more important than that. The mechanism is a universal constant, so even if I got enemies, I've already won against them. My mechanism can't be taken away. It can't fall apart. It's a principle of this world that makes wealth flow straight to me. And so that's basically what I was talking about earlier about Jojo's like whole motivation, is that his motivation is to become filthy rich, but he's willing to go to any length to do that. So be a criminal, like be in gangs and stuff like that. He's willing to do anything to be rich. And his motivation, or his like Joestar resolve, is that he believes in trust. He is a very, very big person that believes in trust. And I wonder if there's ever going to be a time if his trust is broken. Like maybe like the other people in his gang that we're going to learn later on betray him, and maybe that's what makes him turn over a new leaf, and maybe he starts to become a good guy, or maybe he becomes even a badder guy and learns to like, yo, I can't trust nobody, and I'm going to like get anyone out of my way that I don't trust, or something like that. It's very, very interesting. I'm really, really like excited to see where this Joestar goes. And so far, right, no shade on Gappy, because I actually love Gappy. Like I think Gappy might be in my top 3 favorite JoJo's. But the very beginning of Gappy started off very slow. Like Gappy doesn't get really crazy good to me until like after the first like 10 chapters. So like it takes a minute for you to be like really captivated by Gappy, besides the mysteries of how he exists or how he's there. But so far in part 9, in the first chapter, I'm excited about how Jojo's gonna like, how his story's gonna be, because of how he is as a person and what he believes in. And I want to see if there's a flaw in the way that he believes in, if that flaw or that way that he believes his mechanism is ever going to be tested. So that's what I'm very, very excited for. What I think this chapter really good at. It's really, really good at hyping me up on Jojo as a character. We keep on going, and Jojo is like, what? This chapter is like a lot of monologuing, because you know it's the first chapter, so I'm not mad at it. So the chapter keeps going on, and we actually get to learn the name of the guy that was on the scooter. And his name is Paco Laborentes. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it. I think that's the right way to pronounce it. And it was the dude that was like riding on the scooter earlier. And we already know that they're both like in the same drug trade or the same gang and stuff like that. And Jojo even like explained some like small details about him, about how Paco's like a bona fide kleptomaniac, and that he also has a stand ability that allows him to like steal easier. And that's basically like explaining like everything about him, explaining about his body, showing that he's like actually like really, really like muscular and has long arms and stuff like that. And he even like has the ability to like clench his muscles and stuff like that. I believe that's a stand ability, that he's able to like clutch his muscles, or maybe that's just like his weird ability, because they already said he's a stand user. So, because there's this panel where it says, ever seen a friend stop a hungry mosquito's proboscis? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. By clenching his muscles. Look, it's in his muscles. It bunches up in a certain way to hold on to things. So I'm not sure if that's just because that's his weirdo ability of him as a person, or if that's actually like his stand ability, that he's able to just like clench things to his muscles. Which, if that's his stand ability, I don't know how crazy you can make that be in JoJo, but knowing a Rocky, you could probably do something cool with that. But that's kind of a lame stand ability so far. I'm not sure, but we're gonna keep going. But I like his design. His design is really, really cool. And I even like Jojo's design. I like his clothes. Everyone's been roasting his hair, and I can agree his hair looks pretty weird in certain panels, but like I like everyone's design so far. Even also Dragona, because Dragona's actually wearing a different fit than what she was wearing earlier. And she also has this like D logo on her shirt that she's wearing right now while she's talking to Paco. Now, you know, Diaper Down from part 6, which is Anasui's like stand. It kind of looks like that. Like it has like the same like kind of D shape. Like, it kind of looks like that. I don't know if that's a reference to anything. Let me know down below. But, like, it looked like the exact same logo from Diver Down. So, we see that, like, Dragona's using her stand on Paco to, like, basically like, pull her ear, or, like, pull his ear. And, like, Paco, like, is, like, telling her to stop. And then Dragona's like, yo, like, don't mess with my customers. Like, make sure you give her back her wallet. Because, like, Dragona's not trying to lose customers. Like, she works there. And even Paco's, like, having, like, a fun moment with Dragona where he's basically saying, like, Dragona, there's a gym on the other side of the street. Want to go there with me? And Jojo has a little monologue where he even says, telling someone there's a gym is basically just asking if you can kick their ass legally. And then Dragona, like, basically, like, shoves him off. and the boss of the store basically walks in, which is like this tall lady that walks in and like starts telling everyone like, yo, can y'all please leave, I have to close the store early. And everyone that is still there, which is Paco, Dragona, and Jodio, all look at her and they all just like know like it's going down. And so Dragona actually like goes and like locks the door, because remember she works there, which is boutique store called Eco. And basically it's Jodio, Dragona, and Paco there for an after school meeting, and we get to see like the ladies, the boss's face, and her name is Meryl Menchi or Key. I'm gonna say Meryl Mishi. I'm sorry, I'm telling y'all for these JoJo videos, you're gonna be hearing me mispronounce a lot of stuff. It's gonna happen. It's a manga. I don't know exactly how the pronunciation is gonna be, but let me know down below also as well if I'm pronouncing it wrong and like what's the right pronunciation so I can get it right. And Jodio explains like she's the school principal I ran into earlier today, which if you know from the earlier earlier in the chapter, we actually get to see her like run into Jodio a little bit. So that was actually like really cool. She's one of the Eco's investors, and she always drops by after school. In other words, being a principal is her main gig, and managing this boutique store is her side hustle. She's our boss. All of the fashion illustrations hung up on the walls and the clothing and accessories are designed single-handedly by her. I really like the designs. I think they're kick-ass. But the side hustles are all she does. Jodio's basically telling the audience that Eco is basically like a front for the boss's like crimes, to like for all the money that she makes. She actually starts the meeting between all four of them, and she tells like everybody to put their phones away because she doesn't want any of this information getting out. And Meryl tells them about a diamond. It's a natural 24 karat round brilliant cut blue diamond, and its market price is $6 million. And basically they're going to be going on a heist, which I love heist stories and mangas and animes and like just shows in general. I love heist stories. They're fun. Heist stories are really fun, and we actually get to see like everyone's abilities in unique ways whenever there's a heist story. So I'm like very excited, so I'm gonna keep going. Meryl explains that a single Japanese person declared this to customs. The person is staying in a villa in Hawaii, and right now that person is like basically in their villa, and it's a security system at level 2, and the person is Japanese, and they should probably not have any guns because they're Japanese. That's what they say. They came alone, and they're gonna be staying here for 15 days, and it's been 3 days already, so they have 12 days left. And so she asks them if they want to do the heist. And she said that she'll be taking an 18% cut, but they'll be taking a 2% cut in total. And that's for all of them combined. And so that's 2% of 6 million, which is 120K. They have to split it and they'll get $40,000, which is still like, that's a lot of money, especially for someone of their age, like 15 and 18 years old. So that's a lot of money. And she's like asking them like, will you take the mission or will you back out? And Jody was like saying like that since he's the youngest one, he can't make the call about whether they go or not. But if one of them, like the oldest people like Paco and Dragona, say they want to go, that means that they all have to go because they're all in the gang together. And then Meryl asks is like, I would like the 4 of you to go together. You'll have a lot of ground to cover to look for that diamond after all. And then we actually see the next panel that we see the dude that bought from Jodio and Paco earlier, that one dude that was like with getting the drugs earlier. Jodio even monologues to himself asking like, maybe this is another one of the world's mechanism. Every team gotta have its own weirdo, which is true. Every single team's gotta have a person that's like the weirdest one, or the one that's like the not like traditional person. And the other 3 start to complain about it. They start like, do they have to have 3 people? And then Meryl's like, yo, like, this is not like a simple mission. You're gonna need everybody to do this. And like, it's not gonna be simple. Like, the 3 of you just can't do it by yourself. And this is the end of the chapter, basically. And Jodio explains. He says, this is the beginning. A single diamond worth $6 million. Our job is to go to Hawaii Island and take that from a rich person's empty villa. But our team of 3 has become 4. Meryl May's practically ordering us. If Meryl May says the 4 of us have to go, we'll probably all go. Our boss foresaw something. It turned out she was right. A team of 3 wasn't enough. No, it would never have been enough, no matter how many of us there were. And so that's basically like the end of the chapter. And the next page shows the names of the stands that we've seen so far, which show November Rain, Smooth Operators, and then The Hustle, which is like Paco's ability, which I'm pretty sure I'm right about how like Paco's able to like clench thanks to his like muscles, and I'm pretty sure that's like his stand ability, but we haven't seen his stand like personified yet, like as a stand person yet. So that's the end of this first chapter. It took me a lot to get here explaining it because I'm really bad at explaining JoJo, because JoJo is just like a lot, but this is the end of the chapter. I really like this chapter. It's very interesting, and it sets up a really cool moment where we're gonna have an heist arc. And I love heist stories in manga and anime and shows. I just love heist stories. I'm very interested to see more about Jojo's stand ability. I'm excited to see Dragonum, like what more she can do with smooth operators. It's giving a lot of like Part 5, it's giving a lot of Sex Pistols, where how Sex Pistols has a bunch of different versions of itself, like all the different yellow creatures and stuff like that. And so that's what it's giving. Like, this part is giving a lot of Part 5 to me, which I don't know if that's giving it the same way to y'all, but let me know down below how you feel about the chapter, how you feel about Part 9 so far. It feels like the opposite version of, like, Giorno's story. And I really like that. And I'm excited. Like, the second chapter is already out. I haven't read it yet because I wanted to read the first chapter first before I do anything on chapter 2. I want to record the video first and edit it first before I even touch chapter 2, so I don't like become conflicted on reviewing it. But let me know down below what y'all thought. Leave a like, subscribe to see more content like this, and hit that bell post consistently. Let me know what anything I can do better. This chapter took me a lot to review, because like reading everything and then just like trying to comprehend everything and trying to read it in an easy way is hard sometimes with all the dialogue. But I hope I tried my best, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and thank you for joining me on this journey through part 9 of Jojolands together. So I'm gonna see you guys next time. Peace. Welcome back to another video. So today we are back to talk more about Jojolands. We are on Jojolands chapter 2. It's taken me a while to start recording this video because I've been dealing with a lot of allergies, so my voice sounds pretty weird. It might even sound pretty weird right now, but I hope you enjoy the video anyway. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content like this, and hit that bell posted consistently. And let's just hop into the chapter. So this chapter is definitely not as crazy as the last chapter, or as long as the last chapter. It's not gonna be as long as the last video. The last video was like 30 minutes long. So let's just hop into it. So the chapter starts off with a new key art to showing Jodio, and then saying that this chapter 2, and we head into a woman riding a bicycle. She's like wearing like clothes, like basically she's like bicycling out like in the sun. It's Hawaii, and she sees Jodio on the side of a tree, and she starts asking like Jodio, like, yo, I got a test this weekend, and asking like, yo, do you have the stuff, like basically asking for drugs and stuff. And Jodio's like acting like who are you? Like, I don't know who you are, get lost, and like chatting up with a minor is a criminal offense. And the girl's like got an attitude saying, what's his deal? And then she starts to like walk off. And Jodio's like, yo, like, you throwing the towel that fast? Like, no, like, actually, I think I do know you, but put the money in the can first. That's how I do things. I don't give people anything unless they put stuff in the can first. And he starts monologuing, where he starts talking about how usually he only sells at the schoolyard, but Marilyn May is telling him to like start like branching out and doing more things and like sell to university students. And so the girl starts telling him like, how many grams will I get off $100? And he's like telling her like, you know, you'll get a little bit, and like telling her like how he thinks like she's a suspect. He like starts telling her like, yo, that bike and helmet of yours looking pretty suspicious. That's a weird looking headlight. It's got some camera or a microphone installed. It was giving I don't know if y'all have ever seen Breaking Bad, but there's a scene in Breaking Bad, I think it was like in season 2 or 3, where it's like I don't know if y'all know Badger, episode where Badger like gets caught selling drugs to like an undercover cop. And it's in the very beginning of that episode, and it's really giving this, like, because that scene lasts like 2 or 3 minutes, where Badger's just trying to figure out if the person's a cop or not, and then he sells it to him, and then it turns out he's a cop. And that's basically what's happening in this scene. The girl starts telling like Jodio the thing that cops tell people when they're trying to like get them caught up, is that like, oh, like when cops are conducting a police investigation, police officers can't lie, which is not true. They can lie. So like she's telling him like, yo, if a police officer lied in the recordings of going undercover and stuff, then like all the evidence they got is inadmissible. That's not true. If you know about cops and you know about the justice system, that is not true. So she's trying to basically like set him up. And Jodio actually like falls for the trick and like asks her, are you a police officer? And she says, I'm not a police officer. And that's when he like believes her and says like, go to the statue to get the drugs. And even sees Paco about to like drop off the shit, and even Paco even tells her like, yo, under your foot, you just stepped on it, there's the drugs right there. Jodio takes the money and starts to walk off, and then the woman pulls out a gun out of her purse when she sees the drugs and says freeze, and like tells her like, I'm from the DEA and all of y'all are under arrest. And like Paco gets fucking tackled by a DEA officer, and then you see like Jodio put his hands up, and like right now the woman's telling her like, she says, you're being charged with unlawful sale and possession of drugs, and calling him stupid and shit. And Jojo even gets tackled by 2 cops. And guess who the 2 cops are? It's the same 2 cops from the last chapter that were assaulting Dragona and basically trying to like assault the Jodio as well. And the cops like talking shit. So I'm like, yo, remember us from last chapter? Like, you did all that nasty ass shit, but now we gonna get it back in blood today. Like, I was saying all this nasty shit. Like, the cop that was like touching on Dragona is like saying like, yo, I enjoyed touching your friend and I can't wait to like touch like their ass again, and saying all this nasty shit. And it looks like Jojo got caught up. Like, damn, like, how are they gonna, like, how's he gonna get out of this? And then Jojo tells the cop, like, I should have killed you both when I had the chance, and saying like all this stuff like, I don't care about y'all, and saying after all there's no evidence. And he activates his ability, and all the rain comes up, and it actually like destroys the drugs that was in the woman's hand, and it actually like starts like just destroying it, like it's all gonna be gone, right? He decides, like, he's saying like, yo, I wanted to like put these people in the ground, but he bit his tongue and stuff like that, and like he's not making his ability fuck him up as much. Like, this chapter you can see like whenever the rain falls on them, I think they even say that they can like see the rain, or because when they were like talking and stuff like that, they said the raindrops there are, like, they're saying like the raindrops there are stuff like that. So I think they can actually like see the rain, and you see that like it's affecting them like it did last chapter, but it's not affecting them as hard as it was like in the last chapter. Like, it only like slightly hit their foot, like more like instead of like them getting hit by like anvil raindrops, it felt like they're more getting hit by, what's the right word, maybe like 5-pound raindrops or something. So you see the cops start running away, and then the female cop is like super like surprised, and everyone's just running away. And then Jodio starts to like monologue. He even says like, I'm going a little bit off topic. He starts talking about how he has antisocial personality disorder, that he was like diagnosed with that, and that people are saying that like, oh, he's like never gonna be happy. Even like his mom is there to like be mad and saying like, yo, like, why are you telling my child that? He's still like young, you don't know if he's actually like has that disorder. And you can even see like the paper that says like unable to control one's actions or does not experience feelings of guilt and stuff like that. And it actually like made Jodio sad. Like, he said, could a guy like me ever be happy? I think it's possible so long as I try hard, but the truth of this world is that I'll always come across bastards like those in its seedy, unfair underbelly. It's enough to drive me crazy. And that could be the reason why he maybe is like antisocial or has antisocial personality disorder, because, you know, ever since he was a kid, he has been raised on being quiet, like on trust and stuff like that. And then now when he's older, like it's hard for him to trust people, because, you know, like, you got to be like careful who you sell to, or be careful who you trust in the drug trade. You also got to be like strong. Like, you can't just let people like try to like push you around and stuff like that. Like, Jodio doesn't let anyone push him around, and that maybe can seem like, oh, he doesn't play well with others, and that's why he's like antisocial or something like that. But if he does have the disorder, it's like, it did make him think, like, it made him scared a bit, like, damn, like, I have that, and am I gonna be happy and stuff like that, which is a cool like an inner monologue, just like realizing like, yo, like, Jodio like actually like cares, and like I don't know if I'm not a doctor, so I can't, or a psychiatrist, so I can't tell if someone doesn't have antisocial personality disorder, but it seems like he does care. Like, he cares about Dragona. Like, he is like very, very like, what's the word? He's very observative of his surroundings and stuff like that. So I don't think like he doesn't like care about anyone or doesn't have feelings for anyone or stuff like that. I just think that he's very, very strict, or very, very like dead ass. Like, if you fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck with you type shit. And I fucks with that a lot. I like Jodio's attitude so far. He's definitely giving Jojo. It's just that he's in the drug trade. He has the personality of a main Jojo. So we actually get the title card of the chapter, like the Jojolands Part 9, and we see the new character from the last chapter, the hot dog man. We actually learned his name in this chapter, and his name is Usagi Alahoda, I think that's his name. I can't say that full name. Like, it's a hard name, so we're just gonna call him Usagi. But he talks to basically the whole group about how they're gonna like get a rental car and ask them to split $30 and stuff like that. And we learned that Usagi is 19 years old. And they're all like worried, like, because he has a lot of enthusiasm compared to them. Like, Dragona, Paco, and like Jody are like a lot more serious, so they don't know like how good he is at his job because of how crazy he is. And they start driving off when we get these like really nice panels where you get to see like the environment and the Hawaii and stuff like that. This shows like I gotta believe that Araki actually like traveled to Hawaii to like draw, like to be able to like be inspired by the environment and actually like know what it looks like so that he can draw it correctly, because these panels look really beautiful. And you can see like a panel where they're just chilling and vibing on the car, just sleeping and stuff. I like it a lot. We keep on going and we see that they're all talking. They're at basically the outside of the mansion slash the house where the Japanese man is at. And Jojo's basically giving like the rundown, telling how many like things are inside the house. Like there's no one else in the house besides him. There's towels, there's an iPad, there's ginger ale, there's food and stuff like that. And they start building like a map of the house. They find that there's 5 bedrooms, a study room, 6 bathrooms, and a second floor. And that is just the Japanese man. It's just him. And everyone's saying that, yo, we're about to go inside. We're going to get in and out in 15 minutes. And we're going to do this while the Japanese man is outside in the pool. So they find out the Japanese man is inside the pool. And they start actually like getting ready to like go in. And we actually get to see like Usagi's ability, because there's a camera outside. And at first when I saw the camera, I thought Dragona was going to use her ability to smooth operators and like send them to like break it down. But actually we get to see Usagi's ability, which his ability is really weird. So his ability is that he's able to summon a little chicken thing, and that chicken thing is able to go to a thing that he wants to like copy, and it can copy it, right? But it has like a little perk, right? There's 2 perks. One, he can't summon the ability. So he asks Dragona, like, yo, I want you to say, I want cameras. I can't be the one to do it. And then Dragona says, I want cameras. And then that's what summons the little chicken thing out of his hand. And it like runs down. It goes to like the camera. And it like merges with it and then splits off. It's giving like Kiss, like Hermes ability, because you know how Hermes can like put a sticker on somebody and it like splits their head or splits whatever body part. That's kind of what it did. He says that basically it's going to result in 2 images being recorded. One is real and one is fake. And then you see that in the left camera, it's actually like how Usagi looks, and then the other camera, his face looks different. So it's like a combination of like Hermes' ability and Tsurugi's ability from last part, where Tsurugi's ability was with the whole origami, and then whoever touched the origami was able to like, everyone's faces look different. That's basically like a combination of these 2 abilities, in my opinion. Also, the other camera, because you know there's 2 cameras, like one's gonna be inverted and one's gonna be the actual like way that they're walking. So everyone starts walking off, and like the mission's about to go. It's like on go mode. Like this is basically the end of the chapter, and we see a man swimming, like he's full-blown swimming. You see him just having fun, being peaceful. No one's there, like everyone said. And we turn, and Jojo notices him because he's looking at on the binoculars, like he's far away. Because remember, like the main, he's more on like backup, like he's not the main ones pushing the mission because how young he is. And then Jojo says, I know that guy, he's famous. I've got his books in my house and I'm always watching the anime adaptations online. I get it now. I know why he's all holed up here in a villa by himself. And it's Rohan. It's Rohan Kishibe. I'm sad because I got spoiled as soon as this chapter came out that Rohan was in this chapter, but Rohan is here. Like this man, Rohan is in every single JoJo thing. He has all these different OVAs. He's in part 4. Like he's now in part 9. He's in both timelines, and I find that hilarious. He looks pretty similar to how Rohan looked in the other universe. Like he has the same like kind of like headpiece and the same hair and the earrings, and he probably still has Heaven's Door, probably. And he also has like this thing, they showed like this little panel, and I don't remember correctly, but isn't that like when you're like inking something, like a pen, or not a pen, but inking like a paper or whatever, like that's like a thing? Am I tripping? Like let me know in the comment section down below. I don't remember what it's called, but it definitely looks like that. And I'm assuming like we're gonna get in the next chapter probably like, you know, in April, like later this month, because I'm dropping this chapter on April. I'm reading this chapter and reviewing it on April 1st. So like I think like this, he's gonna still have Heaven's Door. I don't know if it's gonna be as busted as it was in the other universe, because if y'all know, Heaven's Door is busted. Heaven's Door can do whatever it wants, to be honest. Like Heaven's Door can just write on a person, oh, I don't know Spanish, but now I know how to speak Spanish. oh, I don't know how to like drive, but now I know how to drive. Oh, I'm gonna slip and fall and just die. Like Heaven's Door can do whatever it wants. It's like one of the most busted stands of all time. So maybe that's why like Jody was like, oh man, there was no way we're gonna beat him by ourselves, because Rohan's really powerful. Like Heaven's Door is a busted ass stand, but I don't know what Araki's gonna do. I don't know if Araki's gonna make Heaven's Door better, or is gonna make it like nerf it or whatever. But all we know is that like this trip is not easy, and a lot of shit's gonna go down because Rohan is him. Rohan's him. I like this chapter a lot. It's not as hard to review as last chapter. Like last chapter took me a lot to review. It was definitely a lot of information, but this chapter is like definitely like a lot more low key. We get to learn the hot dog man's name, which is Usagi. So we got Paco, Usagi, Dragona, and Jodio. And then now we have our main villain, our antagonist, not our main villain of the part, but the antagonist of this arc, which is the heist arc. So I'm very, very excited for next month's chapter. And thank you guys for watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content that's, and hit that bell posted consistently. Let me know down below what you thought about Rohan being the Japanese man, and let me know like what you think is gonna happen. Do you think his Heaven's Door is gonna be as busted as it was in the original universe, or do you think he's not even gonna have Heaven's Door, he's gonna have a brand new ability? Or it's just gonna be Heaven's Door, but it's gonna be like different, like how Yoshikage Kiro's Killer Queen is different in both universes. So like I said, let me know, and I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Peace.